It's been far too long as a warrior reacting to an Aurora song. I like to feature her a lot on my channel. Like Demosh on my channel, she sings healing songs, and this one is about home. And I'm going to give you the background to this particular song because we all need to understand the message that she's trying to convey in the lyrics. The song deals with depression and how it can sometimes overcome us, how sometimes we need to numb ourselves in order to feel at home. As Aurora says, it's not a good way of living, making yourself numb, trying to let every day pass as quickly as possible, but at least it makes us happy for a while. We're at home. Even though by numbing ourselves we can feel warm for a little while, there is no way that we can live like this. This is only surviving, nothing more. It's true, the home, that is track 10 of the album, and the album is All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend from 2016, that Aurora didn't write this song. The song was actually given to her by the American musician Daniel Wilson, who eventually went on to write for others, including The Weeknd and Sue. The song was written around the time she was recording her album, towards the end of 2015. And Daniel was just about at that time breaking through the music industry, everybody. And Kid Harpoon, who co-wrote and produced the original demo of the song, was with him. He was working with Aurora at the time and suggested to her to have this song on her album. It was reproduced by the album's executive producers, Odd Martin Skalnes and Magnus Skälstad, once accepted by her. So it does deal with depression. And we've all been in that situation, everybody, after COVID, where our homes actually became our sanctuary. Also, it wasn't healthy because it became our insanity. We had lost a lot of social skills, how to get outside, how to interact, how to talk to people. Because a lot of times you see people, their heads down, always on the phone, never turning around talking to people. And that is one of the reasons I got a dog that is sleeping next to me peacefully. And I have a park in front of me, and I go outside and I walk my dog. And there's a coffee shop called The Tram in Dublin. And it's a wonderful place. The interaction with the staff is great, everything. And I love that interaction. If it wasn't for my wee buddy who's sleeping away here, I probably would, because I'm such a workaholic, I'm an author as well of a trilogy of books on Amazon, and I'm working on a new collection, plus I'm uploading videos all the time. I would probably stay in my home probably 90% of the time, and the only reason I would go out would be probably to shop, and that's it. And the dog helps me go outside. People refer to the dog being cute, we get talking, and I have a wonderful rapport with people in the coffee shop. And I just feel it's an outlet for me, but at least I have that. But there's a lot of people that are entrapped in their homes and suffering depression because of it. But let's listen to what Aurora has to sing about, and I'll give you my analysis of the lyrics afterward.
Lost in the moment again, stuck where the road has no end, keeping the hope in our minds. One day life will be kind. We are not alive, we are surviving every time. Whoa. We are inside a cocoon made of flesh and bones. Doesn't really matter where you come from. We are home. We are home. Home. Calm again. Calm again. I feel warm again. I am reborn again. I am warm inside for a little while. I'm fine. We are not alone. We are surviving every time. Wrapped inside a cocoon made of flesh and bones. Doesn't really matter where you come from. We are home. We are home. Home. Wrapped inside a cocoon made of flesh and bones. Doesn't really matter where we come from. We are home. We are home. Home.
Wow. Sorry for the interference there, but I live in a listed building in Dublin, and if anybody knows anything about listed buildings, I have one of the oldest internet connections that come into this apartment. And whereas everybody has high speed, blah blah blah, broadband, unfortunately I have the old, what they call in Dublin, copper line, COPPER, and that is why there's interference sometime. But you can't get as live as this, me talking to you, the video, a little bit hiccups, but hopefully not too much that distracted you, because now we're going to go straight into the lyrics. As always, the Queen rules because she gives us healing lyrics, as I'm sure these are. Verse 1 says, lost in the moment again, stuck where the road has no end. Keeping the thought in our minds, one day life will be kind. I think a lot of people, particularly through the COVID situation, sat and they thought, is there ever going to be an end to this? What's going on? We see even in 2022, after the COVID, that there are rising cases again throughout the world. I'm skeptical about statistics. I'm skeptical about what doctors say. I felt that people said too much and confused too many people during the COVID situation. And there was panic elements to it as well. It proved one thing, that we can get medicine to help us alleviate the problem quickly. And yet we can't be as quick when it comes to cancer or other forms of illnesses. But depression in the home was something that a lot of people shared. A lot of people. They couldn't cope. They had no outlet. They had no gardens. They had no balcony to sit on. And it was 2 years of hell for most people. I was lucky that I live in front of a park and you could go 2 kilometers and then go back home. Some people weren't permitted to go outside, I heard. And for me, they were lost, as verse 1 says, in the moment. And one day life will be kind. We all hope and we all pray for that, I think. Evidently now we're going through a war situation, many wars throughout the world. We could talk about the main one, but I've refused to turn this channel into a political one and keep it to the healing lyrics, where it says, we're not alive. We're surviving every time. We're not alive, she continues. Only dreams inside our minds. How many times did we dream of an end to the upheavals of the world? I always say that politicians cause wars, not people. We're the ones that suffer from their decisions. And it's evident that after a COVID, people are financially drained, emotionally drained, and the sanctuary is the home. I know that for me personally, as the chorus says here, we are home, we are home, we are home, we are home, home. I can relate to those lyrics because I'm at home talking to you. I love doing my channel. I also love writing. And if it wasn't for my wee buddy sleeping next to me, I probably wouldn't enjoy my coffees as much because people are all on the phones, but yet the distraction is my dog. He's a Yorkshire Terrier, and he has a beautiful wee face that attracts a lot of people to say your dog is very beautiful, how long have you had him, and they get away from their phone for a few minutes and we interact. So it's been my sanity to have the dog being able to go outside, to come back, but I am very reclusive in other ways. I love being at home. And my partner prefers to be outside with friends, interacting, at work, and that kind of thing. But yet I'm more solitary. I love the home, but I'm just so grateful I'm not in a position to say I'm suffering depression, because I'm not. It's joyous for me. I love my own company, but yet I'm speaking to you. And I know that mentally, so that brings a balance to me. Verse 2 says, endless days of complaints, forcing the light into our veins. And you've seen Aurora touch her veins because she's very expressional with the lyrics. She wants you to follow the song like a snake likes with your emotions, and then she shows you through her body language, this is what happens. It's forcing the light into our veins, keeping the hope in our minds. One day life will be kind. So in other words, when you've got the veins running through you, you've got blood pumping through you, through your heart, you're still alive. In other words, you're still here for a reason. And those complaints about life in general, just remember one thing. One day life will be kind, she says in verse 2. And it will. Karma always comes round to make us smile again. It does. Even through our darkest times, it does. And the thing I would say to people through my own experience when I did suffer depression years ago was I never gave up hope. I always said to myself, tomorrow will be a better day. I always believed that. Pre-chorus says, we're not alive, we are surviving every time. When you're in depression, you are just surviving. You're on the brink you're always in the dark, and you're on the brink of, sometimes you feel relief, calm for an hour or so, and then you go back to feeling tense and angry and depressed and sad. And there's no one to talk to when you're depressed. No one you feel you can bring it from the pit of your stomach all the way up out verbally to speak to somebody. A lot of people don't have that, because not all of us have family and friends, and a lot of us, I choose to be a recluse because I love my own company, but a lot of other people don't choose that because they don't have it. So they're in a no-win situation when depression happens. And then the chorus says, we're a home, we're a home, we're a home. The post-chorus says, wrapped inside a cocoon made of flesh and bones. Doesn't really matter where you come from. No, it doesn't. And what the song is saying is depression is a universal thing that happens to millions of people every day, every week, every month of the year. It happens continually. Actually, you wouldn't be human if you didn't experience depression, because none of us are ever happy with life. And I believe through hope, through positivity, through believing that instead of I cannot, I can, and I teach myself all of this. And I say a daily prayer in the morning. I light my candle in front of I have a Buddha in the corner, and I chant I can, I will. I can, I will. And I keep that in mind, because if I didn't say it to myself, no one else is saying it. Sometimes you need to hear positive words. So I believe in inner healing and allowing myself, like the lyrics here, to read it or say it to myself. So mentally, I can turn the negativity to positivity. That's what I do to keep depression away and those demons that follow you. It says, calm again, I feel warm again, I'm reborn again. I am warm inside for a little while, I'm fine. That is just what I've talked about, that 1 hour a day where you're okay. And it continues, we're not alive, we're surviving every time. Every person in the world survives. When you see people in big houses, big cars, and people have aspirations to be in that life, not always behind those big clad iron gates, electrified gates and fortress, are happy people. Usually they're lonely people. Being wealthy doesn't bring richness inside or fulfillment. Money doesn't cure all evil or all woes. It's you as a person, what you think, what you believe, what comes out of your mouth is the formula for success for you. And a lot of people live for other people. They want to be successful to show everybody, or they want to have happiness to prove to everybody you don't have to be unhappy. But what I say is the key to happiness and keeping depression away is to believe in yourself, that you are a worthy person. You're here on this earth for a reason. We're traveling a journey, all of us. And whether we follow the road to success or follow the road to a different country, a different life, or follow the road to that job of our dreams, we're all following paths. And mine is inner peace. Once I have peace, I am happy with my life. Outro says, wrapped in a cocoon made of flesh and bones. Doesn't really matter where you come from. We're at home, we're at home, we're at home. Wrapped in a cocoon made of flesh and bones. Doesn't really matter where you come from. We're at home, we're at home, we're at home. Yes, we're at home. I'm at home. It's my cocoon. I've created a little cocoon for myself, but I'm not trapped in it. I know there's a life form in the form of my wee buddy, my dog, that needs to go outside and smell fresh air and go for its walks, and thus I go for a walk. So it takes me out, and then I listen to different sounds and people, and I'm a great people watcher when I'm having coffees. I love to study people. I love to hear people laugh. I love to hear people speak, and I don't hear that inside my apartment, but I do hear it when I go outside. So the trick to depression is to step into a pair of shoes that will take you outside, even for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, build up your routine. Listen, let your senses listen, let the eye see a blue sky. When the sun is out, go out and look into the sky and appreciate its blue, because in Ireland, we're always in dark blue, grey skies. So I appreciate the days it's sunshine. I just hope if you're suffering depression, these words have helped. When you're inside a cocoon, when you're trapped, you feel there's no way out. There is. You need to stand in front of a mirror and say hello to yourself. What your eyes see, the heart feels. Instead of sitting in a bedroom or sitting in a corner or rocking yourself back and forth for comfort, just look at yourself in a mirror and say to yourself, today is going to be a good day. Tomorrow is going to be a better day. And I'm going to walk the path of peace and inner happiness. I am. And just chant it to yourself every day. I wish you luck. Thank you for listening. As always, thank you, Aurora the Queen, for writing another incredibly healing song. Take care for now, everybody. Bye-bye.